Keren and Fard. Relax, take a deep breath, and breathe in this moment. Fard, to clear up any confusion or misunderstandings, I do know that your name is Alex. But ever since I first met you, I have called you Fard. Today, on this most special day of your and Keren's wedding, standing underneath this beautiful chuppah, I want you to know that nothing has changed, and I will continue to call you Fard always. Before Rabbi Knopf, the Fard family rabbi who has come all the way from Baltimore, performs the ceremonial wedding rituals and helps you to recite your marriage vows, you both have asked that I say a few words. Given there are such esteemed speakers in our community, I am humbled by your request, but I am also extremely honored by this opportunity which you have bestowed upon me. I have a deep connection to each of you separately. Before you were a couple, or even knew one another, Fard, I will talk about you later, but Keren, as your uncle, I have seen you grow from a shy little girl to a beautiful, mature young woman who knows who she is and what she wants. It fills me with great pride to see how you found your own voice and your own vision for your marriage and your life. Our friend and family rabbi, Ed Feinstein, tells a wonderful midrash, which I think is very appropriate for the two of you, and especially for you, Keren. It says that when the angels above heard that God was planning to create human beings in his image, B'Tselem Elohim, they became very jealous. So they decided to hide the image of God from mankind. One angel suggested that the image be hidden at the top of the highest mountain. The second angel suggested that they hide it at the bottom of the deepest ocean. The third angel said that since humans were adventurers, they would eventually climb the tallest mountains and explore the deepest seas. Therefore, this most clever angel suggested that they hide the image of God within man himself, as it will be the last place on earth that he will ever look. Keren, you told me that before you went on your first date with Fard, that you spoke with him on the phone for a couple weeks prior. During those conversations, you fell in love with him because of his loving and caring heart. You fell in love with B'Tselem Elohim, the image of God hiding deep within his neshama or soul. You knew just by speaking with him that he was the one. You even called your friend Natalie and told her that you were going to marry Fard even before you went out on your first date. Fard, our family friend Paul Cunningham magnificently blew the shofar. When we celebrate Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year, we blow the shofar because it's a holy day. The reason being is so that the gates of heaven will be open in the hopes that God will hear our prayers. We blew the shofar today on the day of your wedding because on this special day, the bride and groom are considered holy. But tonight we also blew the shofar, opening the gates of heaven for your father, Amir Fard. We want his blessed memory to be a part of this, your wedding day, and in all future simchas in your life. I'm quite positive that your father is looking down upon you now from the gates of heaven, and he is beaming with pride at your bride and with joy and with love. Fard, my connection with you began when I first met you as a freshman at New Community Jewish High School, or New Jew. You were just 14 years old in the fall of 2004, and in November of that year, your father passed away. Immediately, my oldest daughter, Hannah, and you made a special connection, as her own biological father died when she was just 3 years old. You had become a member of a club that no one ever wants to join. And Hannah knew firsthand the pain and the sense of loss you were experiencing. From that day forth, you became a regular at our home. In fact, you became so comfortable coming over that you knew the gate code, and always, without knocking or ringing the bell, just walked in, usually asking Rebecca what she was making for dinner, and then taking your seat at the table. What could we do except adopt you as a member of our family, our second son? Keren and Fard, when I asked the two of you what it was about the other that attracted you during those long phone conversations before your first date, both of you together, without hesitation, said values. And when I pushed further to have you explain, you both said there were three main values that you shared. The first was family. Family has played an important part in both of your lives. This past Friday night, most of the Shabbat dinner guests spoke about what the two of you mean to them. Our family toasted your parents, Jan, Rochelle, and Freddie, and congratulated them on doing such a marvelous job in raising the two of you to get you to this point underneath the chuppah, surrounded by your family and friends. The second value was respect for your elders. Respect for your elders is a sign of your true understanding of what it means to go from generation to generation. Fard, you are fortunate to have your grandmother Paricher here, and Keren to have Grandma and Zadie here with you at your wedding is a blessing. The fact that you both value respect for your elders and respect for others shows that you must have respect for one another as well. Which leads us to the third value, which is Judaism. Having mutual respect and emotional support for one another are the pillars required in building a Bayit Naaman, a faithful and trustworthy home. The way to build such a home is by incorporating the Jewish values and traditions, which have been an essential part of each of your family's lives separately. Now, as husband and wife, making the commitment to celebrate Shabbat and the Jewish holidays, along with the giving of tzedakah and by doing acts of loving kindness, will only make you stronger as a couple as you build your new home and life together. Keren and Fard, I'd like to offer you a little marital advice, which I have found useful with my bride of 22 years. No. Earlier, when Paul blew the shofar, he didn't just pick up the shofar and walk up underneath the chuppah and blow. It took years of patience, commitment to practicing the trumpet, and a lot of effort, until he became so proficient that he became a member of the world-famous Trojan marching band. Sorry, I just had to put something in about USC. Just before Paul blew the shofar, he took a breath. Not just an ordinary breath, but a breath so deep that he filled his lungs to capacity. And when he placed his lips on the tiny opening of the shofar, he expertly exhaled, causing us all to hear the beautiful Tikiyah Gedolah from the large opening on the other end. My first piece of advice is that marriage takes patience, commitment, and effort. Like the tiny end of the shofar, this wedding day is just the beginning of the great sounds that you will make together. All of us here today are positive that the two of you, with patience, commitment, and effort, will make great music together from the large opening on the other end of the shofar. Second, you've probably heard from other married couples that the trick to a successful marriage is never going to sleep angry. I can honestly tell you that is just not going to happen. Been there, done that. The trick to a successful marriage, however, is to not wake up angry. Upon waking, you have had the time to relax, calm down, and think. Hopefully this night's pause will put you both in a better frame of mind in order to be able to discuss the situation calmly. Level heads do prevail, so get a good night's sleep and in the morning resolve whatever issues may arise. Lastly, take a breath again and look at each other. Fard, look how beautiful your bride is.
Woo!
Keren, look how handsome your groom is. One way in which to remember this day is to continually refer to each other as your bride or your groom. When you give each other birthday or anniversary cards, write on the envelope, "To my bride" or "To my groom." 10, 20, 30 years from now and beyond, when you're meeting new people, introduce one another in the same manner. "This is my bride," or "This is my groom." And when you do, remember this day. Remember the way each of you look at this moment. Remember the happiness you share and the love you have for one another. Finally, all of us here today are made holy by this wedding ceremony. We all see the love you share, but your family, your friends, and this entire community that surrounds you has a larger obligation, as we are all now witnesses to the love you share as it transforms into a commitment to one another now and forever. Mi baruch al hakol yivarech hatan v'kala, mi baruch al hakol yivarech et hakihala. May God bless this beautiful bride and this most handsome groom. And may God bless the witnesses, all of us, the grandparents, parents, family members, friends, and the entire community, as we all pledge to you both, Keren and Fard, to support this sacred commitment of your marriage. Amen.
Amen.